Today in this session, we are going to learn two very important concepts in game programming. So we are going to learn how do we set a collider? How do we set a collider of any sprite? So what happens by default, the collider of any sprite is square or rectangle according to the shape of that particular sprite. In case of a collision, a square boundary may not be as neat as we want it to be. So in this session today, we are going to see how do we set the collider to circle in GameLab. This concept will be same in any other programming languages as well. We are also going to see how do we debug the sprites. Yes, how do we debug the sprites? If this sounds interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel right away without wasting any time, and let's get started. Create a new GameLab project. Go to your sprites. So here I am going to upload the image. I had downloaded the image of an umbrella from internet. So this is what I'm going to use. You can also find it easily over internet. And a new animation, I am going to draw my own, maybe, something that looks like a raindrop. So I'm going to draw a raindrop myself here. Yes, so here I have my beautiful raindrop. Fine, let me crop it. Very important. It is very important to crop it. So here, as you can see, this umbrella is also a rectangle and this raindrop is also a rectangle shape. Let's start putting the sprites first. You should already know how do we create a sprite. In case you don't know how to create a sprite, there is a link. You can definitely check it and that will be really helpful for you. Going to have a random position between 0 to 400 for my raindrop, and my Y position, we can fix it to 0. So if you are not aware about why I am doing this, let me explain it to you again. So this is how we have here X and Y coordinates. So this is my X and this is my Y coordinate. And this is my 0, 0 position, right? This is 0, 0 coordinate. And this is how my X position goes and this is how my Y position goes. So in any scenario, I want the X position to be anywhere between here to here, from here to here, so that my raindrop actually may fall from anywhere, but my Y position has to be fixed to 0. So that is why I have kept my X position a random number between 0 to 400, as you can see here, while my Y position is always 0. Oh, well, let's give it a background as well. Let me use RGB. And let me pick a nice color from here. Okay, so maybe I can pick up, yes, something sort of violet. 82, 89, 132. So 82, 89, and 132. This is what I have picked up as my background color. Let's reset and run. Yes, this color looks good, but maybe I want to position my umbrella a little lower. So my Y position, let me try 250 and see, it looks better. Now, what do I want next? I want this raindrop to fall. What does it mean? I want to give my raindrop a velocity, a Y velocity. So I'm going to give a Y velocity to my raindrop. Probably, let me try giving it 7 and see how does it works. Yes, 7 is fine. 7 seems to be fine. Okay, but when it is actually touching the ground, what does it mean by it is actually touching the ground? It actually reaches to this position, means its Y becomes 400. Then I want it to move up or maybe create a new one. So we are going to put the code here. If my raindrop dot Y position is greater than 400, what do we want? We want it to go back to the top. So what does it mean? It means my raindrop dot Y will become 400. My raindrop dot Y will become 0 now. So it will go back. But when it is going back, I do not want it to go back to the same X position. So we will again here give it a random X position anywhere between 0 to 400. So let's see how does it works. We have done actually this kind of animation in other projects as well. You can check the shark animation project where my shark was swimming. So it is something similar. It is in y direction vertically while it was horizontally. So yes, my raindrop is falling. So raindrop is falling, very good, but we want to understand the collisions, right? So we will have to see if my raindrop is actually touching the umbrella. We want it to destroy. It is working fine, but do you see when this raindrop is actually coming over the umbrella, it crosses the umbrella as well. It's not doing its work. Umbrella is not able to do its work. So what we will have to do, let's work on the collision. When my raindrop is actually touching the umbrella, I want this raindrop to destroy and create a new raindrop. So this is how we are going to put this code. If raindrop is touching umbrella, or in this case, I can also write if umbrella is touching the raindrop. Okay, if umbrella is touching the raindrop, what do we want? We want this raindrop to destroy. This raindrop to destroy and create a new raindrop. Destroy this one and create a new raindrop at the... So I am going to copy this code and paste it here. Create a new raindrop, which will again be at a random X position, and Y position is going to be fixed as 0. So let's run it and see how does it works. Yes, so now umbrella seems to be working fine. Let's try to see what are the collision boundaries. How we can actually see what are the collision boundaries by debugging these sprites. How do we debug this sprite? We can set the debug on. So let's say umbrella.debug is equals to true and see what happens. You can see this umbrella is actually surrounded by a boundary. This is how you can see what is the boundary of this particular sprite, and how do we change the collision boundary of any sprite. To change the collision boundary of any sprite, the command is the sprite name dot SetCollider. Here we can set the collider to either rectangle or a circle. As you can see here as well, we can set it to two shapes, rectangle and circle. By default, it is always rectangle. So now I am going to set it to circle and see what happens. You can see now this umbrella is actually surrounded within a circle. It means its collision standard is now circle. If I comment this line, and if the raindrop is coming here, it's touching here, then also it will disappear. As you can see, if it is touching even this line, it disappears because it has detected as if it is touching the umbrella. So now you can see this collision and this touching property, all this has become so much realistic. Now it really looks like as if the raindrop is touching the umbrella. So I think it will be a good idea to set the circle collider for this raindrop as well. So let's do it. First of all, let's put the debug on so that you understand what is the existing collider. You can see the existing collider is was rectangle. So I will have to put it here as well if I want it to be, visible on the subsequent raindrops as well. Yes, so you can see it is a rectangle by default. If you want to change it to circle. Yeah, these are the only two shapes that are available. So yes, that collider is equals to circle. Yes, and this we will have to set for other raindrops that we are creating later on as well, and run it and see. Yes. So with this, now this animation looks perfect when the raindrop is touching the umbrella. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful exercise where we learned about the colliders and how do we debug the sprites. See you soon in the next session. Bye-bye.